Welcome back to more unsolicited white guy opinions on movie, or for short, One and a Half White Guys. I'm Nathan, your half white guy.
I'm Nick, your one white guy.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about comedy, movies, and the delicacy of eating octopods.
Octopods. That's right, folks. Today we're doing Oldboy, released in 2013, directed by Spike Lee, starring Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Olsen, Charlton Copley, Samuel L. Jackson.
That movie doesn't actually exist.
What? It's the one I watched.
No. That is a fever dream. That's not a real movie. Don't go look that movie up, people. That movie does not exist. Oldboy. From South Korea, released in 2003, directed by Park Chan-Wook. Also did Decision to Leave and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen those ones.
Did he do, I'm sorry, everybody, but did he do Parasite?
No, that's Bong Joon-ho, you fucking racist.
I know, that's why. This is why I apologized in the camera, like Miles Morales did, going by, I'm sorry for endorsing baby powder.
Yeah.
Now, Oldboy it's a South Korean revenge. What would you call this? A thriller?
I would say it's a thriller. I would say it's got like that morality tale feeling to it as well. This is actually one in a series of the what Park Chan-Wook called the Vengeance trilogy.
Ooh.
Where they were all movies based around the idea of revenge, and this was the second one, I believe.
Carpenter had his Apocalypse trilogy.
Yeah,
Park Chan-Wook's just like, I'm gonna do that.
On revenge,
but with a vengeance.
But just with revenge. So the three movies in the Vengeance trilogy are Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Oldboy, and then Lady Vengeance. They're all technically related to Oldboy. Oldboy is probably the most deceiving one's title out of all three. The other two have vengeance in the title, so you know exactly what you're getting. Oldboy, you're kind of like, I wonder what's gonna happen. And you're like, oh.
Well, we can't really give away what happens, but what happens is...
I do want to say the reason we're doing this is because it's the 20th anniversary, and
20 years old.
20 years old, and the film is released back in theaters right now, so you can actually go see it, and I think it'll still be in theaters when we release this.
Don't go sober. Enjoy yourself.
Well, yeah, I'd say do one sober, and then go see it again.
And then
it's a good way to put it.
Then go to the theater with whatever you want.
Yeah.
But respect your audience.
Yeah, respect everyone around you, of course. When is the first time you saw this movie?
This last year, actually.
Last year for the first time.
Yeah, buddy of mine picked it for a movie night, and I had never seen it. But you know what I did see before it?
The Josh Brolin one.
I saw some of the Josh Brolin one. Yes, I did. Oh, we'll move on. That's the last I'll speak of it. Did you know Samuel L. Jackson's in that?
I do. Let me just explain. Okay, we'll have a quick aside. Let me explain why I hate the 2013 one. It's just so mellow fucking dramatic the entire time. It feels like you're watching somebody do a parody of the original movie.
It's the SNL parody.
It feels like it's an SNL parody of the original movie.
With your host, Josh Brolin. Kenan Thompson comes on playing Spike Lee. I'm Spike Lee, and I wanted to remake Oldboy.
For some reason, I decided this was a good idea.
And they just played the movie. This is really a one-of-a-kind movie.
It's phenomenal. It's
really
a lot of fun.
It is. This is one of the weirdest goddamn movies I've ever seen.
And to be honest, I respect movies that are just fucking weird. I love weird fucking
movies. It wears
movies.
it like a badge, too, dude. It's just,
It's back in theaters, so I and Larry, who's still here, who's still in the Bay Area from Ireland, went and saw this at Alamo. And that was a lot of fun, and I said, you know what, we should do this on the podcast, and just to make sure I had it, I rewatched it one more time a couple days ago.
Let me do the IMDb summary, because what I really want to talk about is
sure
is the plot, because it's fun to talk about the plot without spoiling like a lot of anything, because there's a lot of this movie we just can't go into.
There's a lot we can't reveal.
Oldboy's summary is, after being kidnapped and imprisoned for 15 years, Ode-soo is released, only to find that he must find his captor in 5 days. He gets a phone call, and after he watches a videotape, and the raspy voice says, 5 days.
5 days. It just kind of like gives you enough to be interesting, but that is the summary of the movie without spoiling anything major.
It's neo-noir. Would you call it that?
Yeah, there's definitely an element of mystery and seeking out.
Mystery and seeking out, but the narration, I think, really lends itself.
Narration,
especially
detective work,
especially to him as a character, I think.
Absolutely.
I really enjoy the narration in the movie.
Yeah. Well, the narration helps for indicating time passing as well. Yeah, and there's a lot of time that passes in this movie, so we need to like move shit forward. Should we get into the movie?
I'm about to.
Okay, let's do it.
If that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
He's holding it cuts to Dae-soo. He's holding a dude by the necktie, like off a building, off the top
the
of
side
a
of a building.
And the dude's holding a dog.
And holding a dog, and he's like distraught. He's very scared and sad.
Yeah, he's very scared and sad. And Dae-soo's just coldly looking at him and saying, like, I'm going to tell you my story.
I want to tell you my story.
I'm going to tell you my story. And you think, and in your mind, you're like, he's got beef with this dude. But then it cuts to 15 years earlier, and Dae-soo's he's just a menace to society.
He is in a police station, drunk.
Off his fucking rocker.
He got in trouble and got his ass beat because he was flirting with the girlfriend of the guy that's also at the police station with him. They're both locked up. And he keeps saying, I wasn't flirting with her. I wasn't flirting with her. And like, it's like, was I flirting with her? In the dude's face, I was like, oh, he wants round 2.
He was a little more annihilated than we were on graduation night.
Yeah, well, we didn't do anything. At least we didn't end up in a police station.
We didn't get arrested, thankfully.
He eventually, like we said, gets bailed out by his friend. He plays kind of like the comic relief friend of Odesu or Dae-suo.
Well, and then he just loses him.
Well, they're at a phone booth, and he's like, "Here, why don't you talk to my daughter for some reason?" And Juhan is talking to Dae-su's daughter and saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna get him home." And he goes, "We'll leave right now." And he turns around, and
Dae-su's gone.
Odesu's gone. He's
just gone.
And the next shot is a door with a little like flap on the bottom being opened and a tray of food being pushed in.
And Dae-soo on the other side just sticking his head out, saying,
"Let me out."
Going to the person, "Can you just tell me why I'm here?"
Yeah.
It's been 2 months.
Yeah, he's been
locked in this like half hotel room, half saw trap room.
It's really the best way to describe it.
For 2 months, and he's clearly losing his mind.
Yeah. And what's even weirder about it all is they have...
Does he try to commit suicide?
He does.
At one point?
Yeah. They have... And they don't... Whoever is running this resort from hell is, definitely has doctors and things on staff. So if he tries to like kill himself, they immediately run into the room and like save him every time. They have barbers to come in and like clip his hair when his hair gets too long, give him shave and stuff like that.
Don't you want to stay here? You will live.
The thing he's forced to eat is fried dumplings for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I think. I think that's all they feed him. They feed him a bunch of fried dumplings from like Chinese fried dumplings.
Yes. He's trapped in here for 15 years.
15 years. And you hear his voiceover.
And he cuts himself for every year that passes.
Well, he gives himself like a little tattoo with the ink from the like spike on the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this hypnotist lady comes in and basically says, while he's sleeping, "I want you to imagine a field." Wouldn't that be great if this whole movie was just a dream?
And he's still in the police station.
Yeah, he's just in jail.
Wake up, you drunk asshole.
Wow, oh, what a terrible nightmare.
Yeah. He goes, "It's been 15 years." And they're like, "It's been 15 minutes.
The Inception theme plays.
Oh, my God.
He gets hypnotized.
Yeah.
But then something very real happens. He wakes up in a trunk. On top of a grassy rooftop in the city.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
He's out. He's back. He's officially back. He can't believe it. He thinks he doesn't know what to think. He hasn't seen the sun in 15 years. He has
another person.
He has no idea what's going on, but all he knows is that he's so caught up in the moment. He sees this other dude on the rooftop. Yeah, he can't believe it. He's so happy to see this man, this crying man on top of the roof, and who keeps saying to him, "Don't try to stop me.
Don't try to stop me or my dog."
And here's the beginning of the movie.
He tries to fall off the building, and Dae-soo goes, "No, I want to tell you my story."
Now he grabs him by the necktie.
We have caught up.
And so he tells him.
Smash cut to them sitting on the roof, and the guy, Dae-soo, has clearly just finished the story. And the guy goes,
"Now let me tell you my story."
He goes, "I see. Now I will tell you my story." And Dae-soo just gets up and leaves.
Dae-soo realizes No.
No, I don't really care about you.
No,
so
actually,
I'm just
there's bigger things happening here. I need to get off this
just
roof.
Gets up and leaves. The guy's just like
Wait,
still telling him his story.
What
and
are you
he's like,
no,
leave,
what are you
come
doing?
back. And he, Dae-soo goes through the elevator, goes down.
He sees a woman for the first time
for the
in
first
15
time,
years.
and he is beyond floored.
Who then calls the cops on him
the police.
As he's walking away from the building. This is the funniest damn part of the movie. It's intentionally funny.
Oh yeah.
Is him walking away from the building, and this woman in the background is like complaining to like a police officer about him. And then you just see the dude from the roof just like land on a car.
The dude from the roof jumped and hit a car, and the car starts just sending a car alarm off. As
that car gets flattened.
Yeah.
Like he fell from a very high distance.
He goes,
and Dae-soo keeps walking.
Just walks
He
off.
just keeps walking.
Just walks off.
His hair is cut. He's got some shades.
He's got a nice suit.
He's in a nice black suit.
So while he was stuck in there for 15 years, he did two things. Well, he did a few things, but these are the main two. He number one, practiced getting his fists stronger and just play fighting a figure on a wall. He trained to do martial arts.
Yeah, he traced a figure on the wall,
which is really funny because he goes, time to see, if all of this, all of this training is paid off, and gets into a fight with some street punks. And I was like, that outlined wall never tried to hit back.
Look, we all like to believe that we, through just maybe watching something on TV or just, practicing by ourselves, even just for a little bit, we could actually like have a chance in a fight.
Yeah, this is what I believed younger watching Dragon Ball Z. I was like, I can win. Number two is he works on a notebook and writes down everyone he has ever pissed off in his life.
He's like,
everyone
okay,
you can
time
ever
to find
think
out
of.
who did this to me.
Who would want to put me in here is basically, why did they do it? So he goes through and he goes, I did this to this person. I did this to this person. He ends up at a restaurant.
He ends up at a restaurant because some homeless dude gives him a wallet full of cash and
a cell phone. So he's in front of this restaurant called the Mediterranean, which is a Japanese sushi restaurant. And he goes in and meets Midu, who's one of the sushi chefs.
I thought you were going to say one of the weirdest motherfuckers ever.
She's
weird, dude.
She has very strange, kind of like naive dialogue. Free-spirited and bubbly.
She speaks her mind about anything.
Free-spirited and bubbly. That's the best way I can describe her.
Pretty much no filter.
No filter.
She's weird.
Very, very sweet, though. And she's one of the sushi chefs. And Dae-soo is sitting at the sushi bar and says that he wants to eat something alive.
But before that happens, he gets a call.
He gets a call while she's getting something for him.
On the cell phone, on the Switchblade phone, 2003.
But on the other side of that phone call is our villain. The best way I can describe him. He is the one that put Dae-soo in that prison for 15 years.
Yes,
he paid to have him in there.
Dae-soo asks him, "Are you any of these people?" He's just like, "No, I am not."
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're out. I miss you. I can't wait to see you, or something. Yeah. He's lightly taunting him, but you can tell there's a personal connection.
He also tells him
this petty ass fucking bullshit game.
Petty bullshit game. He tells him to try to narrow down who because he wants Dae-soo to figure out who he is, basically. Yeah. But he says, just keep in mind that essentially says something like, keep in mind that a rock and a grain of sand sink the same in water, which is pretty much anything big and anything small still has the same result. You can do damage, essentially.
No, he's calling him fat.
Nope.
And then Midu brings back just this live octopus.
And she asks, do you want me to cut it up for you?
And he just takes that thing with one hand,
eats the octopus alive, and she's just there like, oh,
my call to adventure. This fucking weirdo. He's still got tentacles hanging out of his mouth, out of his mouth, and he just passes out.
He passes the fuck out
on this sushi bar, and next thing you know, he's in Miru's apartment.
He's in Miru's apartment.
This woman was kind enough to just take this total batshit stranger and just like nurse him back to health. All from his point of view, this has got to be one of the weirdest days ever.
This is one of the most bizarre. He's been out for 24 hours.
And he's basically like, is this my fucking sidekick for the whole movie?
What is going on?
Who is this bitch?
But she agrees to help him try to figure out, what's going on and who imprisoned him. So all he has to go on is, number one, he has to figure out where he actually was. Because he knows he was in a building somewhere. We have to find it. And all he has to go off of is the Chinese fried dumplings that he was given all the time. One time while he was eating the dumplings while he was imprisoned, one of the like a piece of the menu or basically a piece of the something got included in one of them, and he opened it and it said the Blue Dragon. So he knows the name of the restaurant.
A blue dragon makes these dumplings.
Oh my God. And so he and Mito begin going to every restaurant in the city. And I'm not sure which city they're in, but I don't think it matters. But they try every single restaurant, and he orders the fried dumplings out of all of them. And he says, I know the taste. The second I figure out where
he knows the taste.
Well, he's been eating them for 15 years.
How could he not? So he's like,
so he eats one of everyone, and he just keeps going through.
He won't stop too. Eventually, he has to throw it.
He just throws up. He's like, I've eaten too many.
So fast.
I've eaten too many dumplings. Like I can't do this. Finally, figures out the name of the restaurant is not the Blue Dragon. It is the Purple Blue Dragon. And I guess the other part of the menu had been cut off. And he goes, "What the fuck?" He essentially
God damn it.
Yeah. But he goes, and then so he goes, oh, they're making the delivery on the guy, the delivery boy on the scooter. So he just like runs after him.
Sprints after this dude
for like
it's
3
impressive.
to 4 miles
up hills, dude.
Yeah,
it's amazing. He is determined.
He gets into the elevator with them, and the delivery boy, who I guess is in the dark about what this place really is just like. And it turns out the floor is in between the 7th and 8th floor. It's like the 7th and a half floor. Because he has to push both buttons, and there's this secret floor in between, and that's where these prisons are. They're basically a bunch of apartments.
He is finally on the outside of where he was imprisoned for 15 years. Who would you imprison in this?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, good luck getting another co-host. Who are you gonna get? Larry?
Yeah, Larry. I'll ask Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
Well,
well, you better have a good goddamn reason.
Every time we start this podcast, I find one more reason. And apparently now the rest of the henchmen have responded to the distress call, and he leaves the hallway, and it is full of dudes.
It's just full
holding
of thugs.
Pipes, holding bats, holding 2x4s.
Picture any level in any of the Arkham games. Yeah. It's it's about to go down.
But the best shot of the movie, where it is a one take,
it's just one long
continuous shot that just moves
sideways down the hall.
Yeah, what is it? It's Dolly left, right?
Yeah, Dolly right.
Dolly right.
It's just dollying right down the hallway
as he's just
swinging,
whooping ass. And the thing I love about this,
just careening through these dudes.
But
it's not choreographed.
No, it's not. That's the thing with this. It feels authentic. It feels like authentic to what a real fucking street fight is. This isn't like some karate master. Everyone
falling on top of each other.
Everyone gets their ass whooped, inclling Dae-soo.
He gets stabbed at one point.
Stabbed in the back. He gets beat up, but he's swinging. Oh, he's still winning though.
About the endurance. He just won't go down
He
easy.
just keeps going and swinging with his hammer.
He's still got his hammer, and every chance he gets, he's hitting every part of the body on any dude that comes near him.
Dude, the dude with the shirtless dude gets it like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. He gets it in the kneecap first, and then gets his arm like broken, and then gets hit in the fucking jaw, and he keeps getting up, and I'm like, dude, why is no one else fucking standing? This guy keeps getting up and getting his ass whooped.
And it's all to this just softcore spaghetti western music
it's
too.
So perfect.
It's great. It's great. I love fight scenes in movies and action movies, especially. This is no exception.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one of the finest ones I've seen, but it also does end. It ends with him walking up to the elevator, because that's what he's got to do. He's got to get from one end of the hall to the elevator. Yeah. These dudes are blocking him. That's why he's got to go. That's why he's got to go through all of them, and go through all of them. He does.
He does. Dae-soo's like has the knife in his back.
He's still got the knife in his back.
Bleeding, just like lacerations.
He's sweating. He's like, okay, I'm here at the elevator. Elevator doors open.
Whole new wave of guys.
Whole new wave of guys. But then it just cuts to him and he just grins
He
like
grins.
the Joker,
He
dude.
grins, and then the next scene is him going down the elevator
The
door
elevator
opens,
opening on the bottom floor.
ground floor, and all the dudes just like fall out dead.
And Dae-soo is just standing dead center in the middle of the elevator.
and just steps over him to get out.
Just looking like Batman. He just steps over and just fucks off.
Yeah,
Fucking gold.
Great scene. Park Chan-Wook actually talked about, he goes, part of the reason we shot that scene like that is because I was just kind of lazy and didn't want to figure out the fucking coverage for it. He goes, this is too hard. Let's just do it like this. He goes, he was trying to figure it out, and he was like, you know what? What if we just do it like this? But then he told Choi Min-sik about it, and he was like, the guy was just like already out of breath even with the coverage, and he goes, you're gonna have to do this. This is what I'm thinking. And Choi Min-sik was just like, okay. It's just like all fucking like out of breath already. And it was just like that. But yeah, he said, he's like, yeah, just lazy. And so sometimes people are like ingenious, but he goes, oh no, it just worked out. you gotta call.
Who would have thought who would have thought one of the most stylishly shot fight scenes in cinema history that has people gawking over the way it's shot, the way it's choreographed, the way it's filmed,
it's at least
the way it's blocked, was essentially born out of just pure.
I don't want to fucking do this.
Laziness.
It's one of those things of being like, oh, this painter really, I love the use of red, and the painter's like, I couldn't afford blue paint.
Yeah,
that's the same reason. It's the same fucking
reason. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, because and you know what? I feel like we can leave it here. Suffice to say, Dae-soo spends the rest of this movie trying to figure out who imprisoned him and why. But really, 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 you should see this for yourself. This is not something that you should spoil. You should go out, and if you haven't seen Oldboy or the 2013 Oldboy, and see it for yourself, because it's just such a fucking journey. It's such a journey watching the rest of this movie.
It's an odyssey. It's a interesting little neo-noir odyssey.
Great story in it. I think we can move on. You want to go to the facts section? Again, these are real facts about the movie, and Nick is going to read them for you. Your passive-aggressive nature is noted. All right, now we're on to the What a Story Mark section. This is the most ridiculous fact or the most surprising fact I found out. And in the vein of our hero, Tommy Wiseau, ha 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 ha, what a story mark. Imagine Tommy Wiseau in this movie as Dae-soo.
Nah, dude, I think he's got to be
the villain.
Yeah, he's that's him.
Ha 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 ha.
And it's fucking Greg Sestero as Dae-soo. Why did you imprison me?
You know what? Hang on, let's remake. Yeah. Tommy Wiseau, please remake Oldboy with you and Greg.
All right, the What a Story Mark. 4 live octopodes were eaten for the scene with Dae-soo in the sushi bar, which caused problems abroad. However, eating live octopus in Korea is commonplace, although it is usually sliced first. When the film won the Grand Prix at Cannes, Park Chan-Wook thanked the cast, crew, and those octopodes for their sacrifice. Choi Min-sik is a Buddhist and actually had to pray after eating each of the octopodes. Thus, this is far different from Western religion, where you can kill whatever animal you want, but you better not touch yourself.
It's true though. Like that's the truth. Like Western thing doesn't give a fuck. It's like you go hunting. That's just like God gave you that shit, and it's like, were you thinking about a woman? Were you touching yourself? That's great. But like,
eat this live rabbit now.
Eastern religion is like I have to say sorry for consuming this thing that's keeping me alive. I just think, it's a lot more connected in that particular way. But he said, Park Chan-Wook, 4 octopodes, 4 different scenes. He had to eat the octopus 4 different fucking times.
It's metal as fuck.
Imagine just having to go imagine like that being like camera. It's like sound. It's like the lighting, and he's just like cut, reset, and he's like halfway through eating. He's like, "Are you fucking serious?
Are you fucking serious?
Bring out the other octopus. Bring it out.
Or suctioning to his face as he's just like, what the fuck?
It's like makeup. Fair enough. Should we rate Oldboy?
Go ahead.
I have a feeling you're against Oldboy, the original one, 2003.
Rude boy.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this like a 90. I'm gonna say 90. Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna give this a 90.
So you're a fan of this film.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
This I can see how you gravitate toward this kind of film. It's a at its core it's very bleak. It's depressing.
Yeah.
It so is. I don't really like it.
I do.
I'm gonna give it a 64.
Oh shit!
I respect this movie. It's one of the most original films I've ever seen. There's nothing quite like it. I cannot say I've seen anything quite like it before. I understand the compliments it receives. I understand the praise it gets. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
Fair enough.
I just don't really
That's
like
fair.
it.
That's the podcast. You can say it's good. It's good. I don't like it.
I'm just not into it.
Cinema is gonna come for you right now.
This is
public enemy number 1. 90 plus 64 divided by 2 is a 77. 77.
Dude, yeah. People are going to be mad at me.
Fair enough. They'd be like, 77? Have you ever seen a movie before?
Have you?
This film actually is important. It made the list of edited by Steven Schneider of 1,001 films you must see before you die. This is on there. So thank you for listening and watching to this episode of the More Unsolicited White Guy Opinions on Movies, aka One and a Half White Guys podcast. Be sure to follow us, rate us, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at One and a Half White Guys Podcast, on TikTok at One and a Half White Guys, and now video screening on YouTube at One and a Half White Guys.
And be sure to tell a friend about the podcast where we say we're going to talk about a movie, and we kind of talk about the movie.
We might talk about the movie.
Hey, we usually talk about the movie.
You want to go get some octopus?
Yeah, hop on the first plane to Korea. Let's go.
Let's go. Eat the whole thing live and then pass out at the
Get the full Oldboy experience.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.
Peace.